Hello everyone, welcome live to 3Y TV tonight's broadcast of the Thornton Graphix Grand National Series here for the Total Nonstop Racing League here on 3Y TV. I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth here tonight is Mr. @Bob_on-air, Bob Giaquinto. And Bob, great to be here at Richmond International Raceway, 3/4 of a mile racetrack, and of course, short track racing.
For sure, Richmond is the action track, and this is definitely going to be one of those races that these drivers are going to have to be mentally tough for 150 laps. This is a very daunting track, and it's a hard track to get around. You use your brakes a lot. You're really going to eat up those tires a lot throughout this race, and this is just going to be an exciting one from start to finish for sure.
Yeah, that is for sure. And of course, this is a D-shaped oval. In fact, you can see how that start-finish line is a little bit closer to turn number 4 than it is turn number 1. This racetrack will see a lot of left turning. I know, we see that a lot every week when you go to these NASCAR tracks, but here at Richmond, it feels like you're turning left for an eternity because of that front straight, and usually it leads itself to some very tricky handling cars, Bob, because you kind of just drag that entry off into turn number 1, and then coming out of turn number 4, you also have a lot of wheel in it. And the way that you just keep the wheel turned, it can lead to a lot of race cars getting loose, and we're seeing that already in practice tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, turn 4 is really going to be the action corner here at Richmond. And, just like you said, you have a lot of wheel going into the car. You're basically turning the car left from the entry into turn 3 all the way until the exit of turn number 2. And the way turn 1, as you can see here on the screen, you kind of have a bit of an arc into turn 1 that really leads to some pretty crazy dive bombs that could happen to try to gather position, make some really aggressive moves. So it's going to be really interesting to see how these drivers can handle just keeping their car going in a straight line as this race goes on.
Folks, my mic's been muted the whole time. I've been saying stuff. I've been going through the grid. I've been saying lots of things. You don't know what I was saying. So let's redo this. Let's go back up to the front because, man, I said a lot of things. The number 78 machine starting on the pole. We'll just wipe that. Start from the front again. Number 78 machine, Spencer Tart. On the inside of row number 1, he has a drive-through penalty at the start of this race. So that's going to be something we got to keep an eye on. Ben Izenga to his outside will be starting from second. Row number 2, David Harvey, Jason Gracias, Bill Edwards, Andrew Himmelman, row number 3. Row number 4, Philip Scott, Lupe Gonzalez, Jason Freeman, Tristan Maher rounding out row number 5 there, Bob.
Starting in row number 6, the 55 Stephen Dosiak Jr. On his outside, Garrett Gleason in row number 6. On the inside of row number 17, starting in the 14th place, the 69 machine of Bobby Trapper, and on his outside, the 40 of Jason Shue. On the next row, the 21 machine of Johnny Williams, and on his outside, the 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. Then rounding out row number 9, the 4 of DeMarco Starks, and the 10 of Jordan Shepler. And then rounding out the field, starting in 19th and 22 with Stephen Kegman.
And that's going to be it for tonight's starting lineup. But do want to make mention of a couple things that I was able to mention there while I was completely muted. How embarrassing is that, folks? Is the fact that not only does the 78 of Spencer Chart have that drive-through penalty, also got to give a huge shout out to Andrew Himmelman taking home the win last week. Of course, last week was not a points-paying event, but if you tuned in for that one, really appreciate it. Andrew Himmelman picking up the win and also picking up a good bundle of cash in the Make Garrett Broke 100. But we're green flag now for 150 laps here tonight around the Richmond International Raceway, and it is the number 78 machine, the Spencer Chart, currently leading the field, but we expect to see him on pit road this time. David Harvey in the number 77 machine. They're going for second, toe-to-toe with Ben Izenga. Good start for the number 77 Heinz machine, but we're keeping our eyes on the 78. Good job there by Spencer Chart to get it onto pit road. Maybe locked up the tires just a little bit, but for right now at the front, it is David Harvey.
And that pit road is very tough to get into under green flag conditions because of the amount of wheel that you're putting in the car. So it's great to see he was able to keep the car going in a straight line, able to head down pit road and just stay there incident-free, as David Harvey now has a pretty decent lead right now, about half a second over top of that 17 machine of Ben Izenga, who's really been on a tear these last few weeks, winning 3 out of the 4 races. So Ben Izenga is definitely one of those drivers to watch as this race goes on.
And do apologize about the noisy race cars. We've dialed that back, so hopefully you're able to hear everything I was saying there as we went green. We're trying out some new software this week, and we just got to figure out all the kinks with it. But for right now, it is David Harvey leading over Ben Izenga. And Izenga's been on an absolute tear here, Bob, in the series. That number 17 machine been very, very, very quick over the last couple of weeks in that NOS Energy Drink Toyota Supra.
Yeah, like I'd mentioned, 3 wins out of the last 4 points-paying races. And by the way, that 4th points-paying race, he finished second. So 4 podium finishes in the last 4 races for Ben Izenga. He has really been on an all-out tear, but don't look too far away. Right in front of him, David Harvey. He's been very consistent these last few races, and right behind him as well, Jason Gracias had a great showing these last couple of races as well. So look for those guys to really put in just a good fight around Ben Izenga as this race goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a good race throughout the field. Jason Freeman back there, the number 20 machine, as we have a side-by-side battle for the race lead. Here comes Izenga trying to pick up yet another win here on the series. Lap number 6, and that time it was Izenga, I think, just able to pit the number 77 to the line, and he will clear Harvey going off into turn number 1 that time. So you just get an indication there of that sweeping run into the corner. Here comes Lupe Gonzalez, I think, in number 35 machine, coming up through the field very quickly here in that number 35. Already up into the 5th position, just made the pass on Andrew Himmelman, it looks like, as the 77 of Harvey. They're throwing up some sparks on the right-hand side. On entry into turn number 1. That opened the door for Jason Gracias. Gracias now able to get up into second, and here comes Bill Edwards in the S2R number 50 machine, trying to make that pass for third, and will clear him. Here comes Lupe Gonzalez. Gonzalez now up to 4th. Harvey here really struggling.
Yeah, Harvey really struggling. I'm not sure if he maybe had just worn out his tires a little bit too much and too quickly here in the early going, but this is one of those tracks that just kind of eats tires, and not quite the way a track, an older surface track like we see out there with Atlanta, but still the amount of wheel that you're putting into these cars, Peter, it really just eats away at the tires. And 150 laps it's going to be a long race for these cars. Yeah,
it definitely will be a long race here in the series, and I'm not all too surprised that we're going to see some comers and goers here tonight. This is a racetrack where you can really save tires over the long run, and it can definitely come to help you. Now, we do have a stage break here tonight that will help some of these drivers because they'll be able to come down pit road, but we're keeping our eyes here on the number 99, Philip Scott. He just got passed by the number 97. That's Mike Floppy Tellier in the Hello Kitty machine here tonight, making one of his daughters very happy, I'm sure, with that bright pink number 97 machine, getting to the inside of another one of his teammates. In fact, we got all of them right together. The 97, 98, and 99 in that order, as I think Tellier just trying to use that yellow line to pick up that position. But so far, the 98, Maher on the outside, able to hold him off. But for how much longer do you think, Bob?
Yeah, I'm not really sure how much longer the 98 can battle there next to the 97. You know, something's definitely going to have to give, because especially higher up on the line, the 97 really has the preferred line here in this instance, and on the outside there's just not as much grip as there is down low. So, but you know, then again, as I'm saying, this 98 putting on a really strong showing and be able to hang on the outside line.
Yeah, that he is. And man, Tellier, I think he's finally cleared him. Finally, maybe, yes. Ooh, they get tight there going off into turn number 1. Finally able to clear him. I thought there might have been contact there between the two teammates, but they sort things out. Meanwhile, you're not missing anything up at the front of the field. Ben Izenga continuing to lead about 2/10 of a second, almost 3/10 of a second now over Jason Gracias. Bill Edwards back there. Great start by Lupe Gonzalez there in the 4th position. David Harvey is settled down in the 5th position, right in front of Andrew Himmelman. And from Himmelman back to Jason Freeman in the number 20 machine, quite a big gap. But I'm not too concerned about that for all the Jason Freeman fans at home. There he is, because Bob, Freeman has a tendency to really figure out these races as the race goes on.
Yeah, for sure. Freeman is definitely one of those drivers where he's much more of a late stage driver, if you will, where in the beginning of the race he kind of feels out his car, feels out the track, really likes to conserve. But then once crunch time hits, watch for Jason Freeman throughout any race, but especially here tonight, watch for Freeman to start slowly slicing and dicing his with a ton of time. And he'll definitely be there at the end, so really nothing to panic if you're a Jason Freeman fan right now. Yeah, you're 4 seconds behind the leader, but honestly, it's very early in the race. We haven't had our stage break yet. Heck, no one's been down on pit road for fresh tires or fuel or anything. So, you know, a long way to go, but Freeman is definitely one of those drivers who will slice and dice his way through the field.
Yeah, absolutely. That is going to be one thing that we'll keep our eyes on. But, of course, with that stage break, Bob, here tonight, you just, you know, as long as you're on the lead lap at this point, it's not a bad thing, all things considered, to maybe save some tires, because you might not want to use a set of tires when you come down pit road here tonight, because once you've done so, you've lost one of your sets. There's only 2 sets of tires on pit road. This is a racetrack that does eat through quite a bit of tires, and I believe that one caution flag, that one stage break, I think it's gonna happen. I'm trying to see where the admin said. It looks like it's gonna be lap number 30. So we're about 10 laps away or so from the one and only stage break that we'll have here tonight to give out a couple of points for the Total Nonstop Racing Thornton Graphix Grand National Series Championship. And of course, a big shout out to our friends over at Thornton Graphix for sponsoring this series, and really cool to have them on board. And also, Master Millwright jumping on board for the Big Block Championship, that Total Nonstop Racing League. Oh, what was that, Johnny Williams? I think that's Johnny Williams right in front of the leaders. And was that Johnny Williams? I think it was. Oh, caution flag is going to be out here. And right in front of your race leaders, the number 21 machine. Let's see if we can see what happened here. I think he just got high up on the racetrack here, Bob.
Yeah, it looks like coming out of turn 2. And yep, just slammed the outside wall, hit hard on the inside wall, and oh, Steve Kegman, I believe that was, might have gotten a piece of him as well and caught the outside wall just thereafter. But man, just a tough break there for the 21 and 22 there, right in front of the leaders, and oh, Gonzalez just locking it up and maybe kissing the outside wall just a little bit there. Wow.
Yeah, we'll see if we go on board. This is on board with the number 35 Gonzalez. There comes Kegman, and there's the wall, just barely kissing it. Very, very tough break for Gonzalez here, who has been slicing and dicing up towards the front of the field. We'll get a little bit different look at this one as it all starts to go down. I don't know what happened to the 21. I don't know if he was just turning right, or if the car just decided to lunge away from him, or whether or not there was any type of hardware issues. But either way, That's going to be a tough break for Johnny Williams, of course, making his league return last week here on 3 Wide TV. So, anyway, how's it going, folks in the chat? I'm glad that you. We didn't have many people at the start of the race, but we've picked up a couple of people throughout the broadcast. We want to welcome you, and hopefully you're having a good time. I got to say, you didn't miss much at the beginning because my mic was muted for a portion of it. You hate to see it, folks. You absolutely hate to see it. But a beautiful night here at Richmond International Raceway. There goes Garrett Gleason peeling off pit road. And it looks like Ben Izenga will keep the race lead coming off of... Looks like he didn't actually come down pit road. Who did come down pit road? Looks like Mike Floppy Tellier, Jordan Scheffler, Tristan Maher, Lupe Gonzalez, Jason Freeman, Garrett Gleason, all elected to come down pit road. Then we had a couple of others not come down pit road. I think your front 10 drivers stayed out there on the racetrack. So already some different strategies out there tonight here, Bob.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that was a good call from guys like Tellier, like Shu, like Scheffler, because there's only, I'd say, when we go back to green, maybe 4 laps until the stage break. So you're going to expect some leaders to come down pit road. You'll get that all precious track position once we go green flag racing back after the stage. So it's going to be interesting to see how this thing kind of shakes out as the race goes on. And, you know, one of the tough breaks, I think, out there because of this caution was Stephen Kegman. Johnny Williams was the guy who was the first car 1 lap down. He would have gotten that lucky dog pass, but unfortunately, because of the wreck, Kegman was there, was right behind him, and was not able to pick up that lucky dog. And you know, it's a tough break. This is a hard track to get your laps back, unless there's a caution. So it's just a hard night right now for the 22 of Kegman.
I'm just trying to see whether or not this will count as the stage caution. The admin said that any caution that happens after lap number 25 will count as the stage caution. So I don't think that will be the stage caution. So we might have like a 3-lap shootout here, Bob. 3 or 4 lap shootout to determine which one of these drivers are going to pick up the points here tonight for the one and only stage break coming on lap number 30. But you see the pace truck lights are off, so we're going to get set to go back to green flag action. 150 laps here tonight around the 3/4 mile Richmond International Raceway. One of my favorite racetracks, Bob, that NASCAR goes through it. I've always had a lot of fun racing here all the way back to the NR 2003 days, and great to have this racetrack in iRacing. Pace truck heads down pit road, waiting for the green flag to fly here at Richmond, and they're on the loud pedal already, going off into turn number 1. Big jump there by Ben Izenga.
Yeah, great restart there by the 17 of Izenga, but Jason Gracias hot on his tail as they dive off into turn number 2. David Harvey right behind him, and then Bill Edwards, and then last week's all-star or exhibition race winner, Andrew Himmelman, rounding out the top 5, but a good battle so far here at the front of the field.
Yeah, great battle up at the front of the field. Here comes the number 1 machine of Jason Gracias. Had a little bit of a peak there going off into turn number 1. Looks like he thinks better of it. Stays back behind that number 17. David Harvey got himself back up into P3 there on that restart. Edwards Himmelman rounding out your top 5. Then Philip Scott, Spencer Tart. That number 78 machine's already back up to the 7th spot after his drive-through penalty. But you can just see that number 1 of Gracias is just kind of showing a nose to the 17 of Izenga. He wants those bonus points here for the stage break.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a little bit of a, hey, I'm still here, you know, kind of move there by the 1 of Gracias. And that's just such a great move there. Able to stick the nose in, kind of disrupt the 17 on his line, say, you know what, I'm going to take that line away because I'm right here. But here comes Gracias taking a look to the inside now for the lead. But the 17 of Ben Izenga, they'll be side by side now coming down the back straightaway.
He's going to hold them off here. They're coming to what will be the one and only stage break here tonight in this 150 lap event. Coming out of turn number 4, Ben Izenga will add to his points tally with that one and only stage break. Pick up those stage points, and we will calm all those engines back down. Caution flag is in the air for the NOS Energy Drink number 17 machine. This time, of course, by design. Keeping my eyes on some of those cars that already elected to pit. Mike Floppy Tellier in that number 97 machine. He was able to gain a couple of spots on that short little run that we had, but keeping an eye on his pit stop time, he didn't have a long pit stop time, only 6.1 seconds, so that kind of indicates to me probably didn't even take tires on that stop. Maybe just came down, took some fuel, just trying to get into a little bit of a different pit strategy than some of the cars around him. So that's going to be an interesting strategy. Always love to see different strategies here on 3Y TV to see how these races pan out, because I'll tell you what, Bob, sometimes they really keep us on our toes all the way to the checkered flag.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, a lot of guys, okay, no tires, 2 tires, 4 tires. Like we had mentioned, you only have 2 sets of tires in the pits, and as we say that, the 97 Mike Floppy Tellier stayed out as the rest of the field heads down pit road. So different tire strategies. It's excellent to watch on the race, but sometimes, man, it's a little tough to call races with all these different strategies going on.
Yeah, that it is, and you can see now your leaders coming down into their pit box. You see that little dog leg right down there towards the end of pit roads. Here comes Spencer Tart, your pole sitter here tonight in the number 78 machine. Served that drive-through, and Bob, one thing that's really surprising about that is Spencer Tart actually did not lose a lap. Now, we're also seeing some split strategies on pit road. Ben Izenga looks like he might have taken 4 tires. Spencer Tart looks like he's taking 4. Andrew Himmelman, the 99. Philip Scott. A couple of these other cars a little bit further back in the field trying to split their strategy just a little bit. There goes the number 40 machine. That's Jason Shue. But very interesting to see these different strategies continuing to play out. Now, we did get a lucky dog brought to you by Max Graphics. That would be the number 22 machine of Stephen Kegman getting that lap back in the Angry Orchard Chevrolet Camaro. Now, we're also getting word that Johnny Williams in the number 21 machine, he is staying on pit road, so he might be calling it a night here at Richmond International Raceway. Big shout out to the people we got in the chat. So we have Tana Himmelman in there, Steven Doziak. He's on the racetrack. Steven, stop texting and driving. Where are you at? There you are. A little bit further back. A little bit of a interesting look there on the number 55 machine. Kind of got those numbers right in front of the rear tires. You don't often see that here in the Total Nonstop Racing League. I know real life NASCAR might go to that, but great to see him sporting Master Millwright on the hood. Of course, located up there in the northeastern portion of the United States. Make sure you go check them out. And a pretty cool looking car. Got NSRA on the back, got TNR on the sides, got the number 55 emblazoned on it. And from afar, kind of has that Hunter's Orange look to it there, Bob.
Yeah, it's definitely a good-looking car. Very interesting number placement, sponsor placement, and all that sort of thing. But let's see what's a little bit better, his broadcasting abilities or the racing abilities here as we start getting ready to go back green. Doze and Gleason did a fantastic job last week. I was able to go back in and catch the race after everything had all kind of settled down. And man, that was fun listening to you guys up there doing the broadcast and being down there on the track. But I will say I had a lot more fun up here in the broadcast booth doing these races here.
Yeah, if you missed that one last week's, folks, I had the fire alarm go off right in the middle of the race. That was a fun one. I had audio issues all over the place. Hopefully those audio issues are not present here tonight. I had a few earlier in the race, but I'm using new software, so hopefully those go away and we can get everything all sorted out. Ben Adams in the chat, Ryder Lee Engel also as well. Ryder Lee Engel, of course, always rooting on Philip Scott in the number 99 machine. The Windsors saying, good luck, Bill. Thanks for joining us here tonight. And I know Bill always says hello to his family back home, so hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of action. Now, we did have a shake-up up at the front of the field, Bob, because, like you mentioned, Mike Floppy Tellier, he stayed out. He's your race leader working lap number 36.
Just a great restart there by the 97, able to get the jump. Bobby Trapper almost a little slow on the green, but look who's right behind Tellier now, the 20 of Jason Freeman, as they dive off into turn number 3, and just a good battle here is going to start brewing as they're side by side the rest of the way through the field.
Yeah, look at that, them coming out of turn number 1, but just like that, turn number 4, and just like that, they're already going off into turn number 1. They whip their way around this racetrack very, very quickly. Oh, man, Tristan Maher almost clipping the wall there, going out of turn number 2. this is a racetrack. Look at the 55 there, Doziak going all the way up the racetrack. You don't really want to do that here all too often. Look at Ben Izenga. Remember, Izenga is one of those drivers who elected to take tires, one of only 2 sets that he has on pit road here tonight. So maybe thinking about this race, maybe he had a green flag feel to it. We didn't have too many cautions in the early portion of these races, and we've seen that quite a bit this season, but he's already got himself up into 3rd spot on those fresher tires.
Yeah, just a strong performance here by that number 17 machine of Ben Izenga. Really just a fantastic driver as well, and just watching him slice his way up through the field. Now he's taking a look to the inside of the 20 of Jason Freeman, and you know, the 17, he wound up coming off the pit road somewhere, I believe, around 10th or so. So he's already picked up a ton of positions, and now he's going to set his sights on the leader of the 97, Mike Floppy Tellier.
Yeah, and we also saw Spencer Tart climbing up through the field, as is Andrew Himmelman. So those cars who elected to take tires really mowing their way up through the field. Meanwhile, Jason Gracias in the number 1 machine. Remember, he was up there at the front of the field at that stage break. He's now mired back in the 12th position, right in front of Bill Edwards right there, who was also one of those drivers who did not take tires under that stop. So definitely different strategies here playing out, but we'll have to see how those all work out. There's DeMarco Starks in the number 4 machine. Haven't really mentioned him here tonight, just inside the top 10. Also did not take tires under that caution flag that we just had. So definitely these different strategies. We'll see how they all play out. Now, one of those strategies that's playing out right now is the number 97, Mike Floppy Tellier. He led the field back to green a little while ago. He's now slid back into 5th. The number 99, Philip Scott, 4 tires on that car, now up into 3rd. So it's all looking good for these drivers who took tires, but how easily that pendulum could swing.
Yeah, for sure. And like we had mentioned, you know, this track really does eat tires, especially with the amount of times you're on the wheel in the corners throughout this race. And if you had missed any of the pre-race, we were talking about how you're essentially making that car turn left from the entrance into turn number 3 all the way until about here, the exit of turn number 2. So, you know, you're putting a lot of wheel in, and you're really putting a lot of stress on that right front tire. So you have to find a way to save tires, but also keep going fast and stick with the leaders. This is definitely a tall task here at Richmond tonight.
Yeah, let's look a little bit further back in the pack, because this gaggle of cars right here, this is a group of cars who did not take tires, led by the 4 of DeMarco Starks. Then we got Jason Gracias, Tristan Maher, Bill Edwards, Steven Doziak, who did take tires, and Maher there might have just smacked the wall coming out of turn number 2. Definitely looked like some sparks flew. That might have just been iRacing having a little bit of a graphical glitch, but Doziak there on the fresher tires trying to get past Maher right down there on the bottom side of the racetrack, way down by that yellow line. You don't often see a lot of cars use that line because it definitely shallows out your entry into turn number 1. But Maher there with a big slide, a big push in that number 98 machine. Not sure if that was a slide or a push, but either way, that number 98 machine shot up the racetrack, and just like that, he's going to slide back a couple of spots.
And, you know, I have to say, I feel like the 98 machine this season has just been snake bit everywhere we go. Just some bad luck getting caught up in wrecks like we had seen at Daytona and a few other tracks where, you know, Maher, his finishing is really not indicative of the talent and of the skill that that he has. We saw last year with the Thornton Graphix Cup using the ARCA Series cars. He had a fantastic run last season. This season, just bad luck kind of being snake bit, and it's tough. And hopefully Maher's luck gets turned around here tonight and going on forward through the rest of the season.
Yeah, one driver who's putting in a good show here tonight, that's Bobby Trapper, the number 69 machine right there. We got Fanatec on the hood of that race car, working his way through turn number 1 and 2 right now. Solidly inside the top 10. And I'll tell you what, Bob, I believe, we got a pass going on right here for the 5th position. That is Jason Freeman, Mike Floppy Tellier, Freeman on the inside, Tellier on the outside. That Mason Dixon Cornhole Chevrolet trying to get himself up into the top 5. But look at the front 4 there, Bob. They've really checked out. Tart, Izenga, Scott, and Himmelman. they have a 4-second advantage over this battle right here. Now, they are really the 4 drivers who elected to already use a set of tires, so we'll see how that works out to their advantage/disadvantage as time goes on, as Freeman there having some connection issues in the Mason-Dixon cornhole machine. But we just got past the 1/3 race distance, as you can continue to see that number 20 struggle. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that's definitely one of the most nerve-wracking things in any race in iRacing is the guy in front of you blinking out a few times, or you see smoke up ahead from a car blinking out like that. It's so nerve-wracking because you're hoping that I hope this guy, pops back in at the right time and not at a point where I'm inside where his car should be. And it's just such a nerve-wracking time seeing that guy in front of you blink like that.
And while we've been watching all that racing back there, Spencer Tart, the number 78 machine, your pole sitter here tonight in that Toyota Supra, actually was able to take the race lead. He's now up to a 1.1 second lead over the 17 of Izenga. By my math, this actually happened about 12 laps ago. So where were all of us up here at the front? We were watching all of the good racing happening mid-pack, but now we got a side-by-side battle for second. Philip Scott there. I know a couple of people right early angle. Logie Bear, if you're both in the chat here tonight, make sure you make yourself heard. I haven't seen Logie Bear here. Oh, man, Philip Scott with a big lunge and a slide off into turn number 1. The number 17 going to do a little bit of an over-under, take that spot right back, and that also going to open the door for Andrew Himmelman there, battling side-by-side with Philip Scott there for third.
Such a gutsy move, and for a split second there, I thought that move was going to hold, but man, what a great move there by the 17 of Ben Izinga to dive underneath of him and get back in, but now the 99's starting to fall back just a little bit. Now he's back in that 5th position.
Yeah, we got...
4th position, rather.
Yeah, we got Logie Bear in the chat here tonight. Logie, go pop open an Iron Brew and have a few sips on it while you enjoy tonight's action here from the Richmond International Raceway. Philip Scott sliding back to 4th, however. Maybe the Iron Brew will help with that. Gotta say, I love me an Iron Brew, and I can finally get one. Not very many over here in the States, but you can find them every once in a while. And, oh man, Philip Scott now all over the back bumper of the Sim Shots number 6 machine of Andrew Himmelman. And I'll tell you what, we touched on this earlier in the race, and we touched on it a couple times, but how cool was it to see Andrew Himmelman in victory lane last week? A little bit flustered in his post-race thank yous. But Andrew, you have definitely put together some great runs, and more wins are on the doorstep for you in the number 6 Ford Mustang, whether it's here in the Total Nonstop Racing League, Thornton Graphix Grand National Series, or over in the National Sim Racing Association on Friday nights. But I gotta say, putting together some good runs, currently running in 3rd, although kissing the wall won't help that cause. Hopefully it was able to avoid that. Maybe iRacing there, just a little bit of a graphical thing. Sometimes it does that, but back behind them, quite a few seconds back. The 99 of Scott, now 6 seconds ahead of Jason Freeman.
Yeah, just a good race there by the 20 of Jason Freeman. He wound up, I believe he stayed out during that last round of pit stops, so him and Tellier right around the same pit strategy as well as a few other guys further back, as we see this good battle here now between the 1 of Jason Gracias, also driving the Sim Shots Ford Mustang. Taking a look to the inside of the 69 of Bobby Trapper, heading down into 1. Yeah,
they're going to be side-by-side here going off into turn number 1. Now, here's the interesting thing about these different strategies that are in play, Bob, is right now these drivers have about 30 or so laps on their tires, like your race leaders or so. Yes, they have a big advantage, but if caution flag was to come out right now, all the drivers who have saved a set, well, then they can come down and get that fresh set. And really, the tables turn very quickly as Bobby Trapper, speaking of tables turning very quickly, he's gone from 7th now back to the 10th position here very, very quickly in the number 69 machine, losing out that spot to both the 77 of David Harvey and Bill Edwards there sneaking on by. It's about a second and a half back to DeMarco Starks, who's holding his own over Lupe Gonzalez. Of course, Lupe Gonzalez getting a piece of that First caution flag that we have had here tonight, really the only real caution flag, as looks like the 97 machine of Mike Floppy Tellier getting back underneath the 20 of Freeman. They're coming out of turn number 4. That will put Tellier back in the 5th position, but 7.3 seconds now behind the 99 of Philip Scott.
Yeah, definitely a long way to go there for that 97 machine, but I feel like we've been watching this battle for the last, 15 to 20 so laps, because these two drivers just cannot get away from each other. Mike Floppy Tellier and the 20 of Jason Freeman have been side by side, I feel like, for most of the second stage that we've seen so far. So, you know, a long way to go and a lot of work for these two drivers, but, you know, anything can happen. We're just barely even before halfway yet, so still plenty of racing to go, still plenty of cautions. I'm sure that will come out, so it's going to be interesting to see how these two can kind of fight their way through the field with an extra set of tires now in the pits.
Yeah, on board here with Jason Gracias, who still has those sets of tires on pit road. Now, Gracias is turning some really stellar lap times right now in that number 1 Sim Shots Ford Mustang. You can see last time by, half a second faster than the number 20 Mason Dixon Cornhole Chevy Camaro. So Jason's definitely playing the long game here tonight, saving his tires. He's definitely very, very good on the short tracks. That time by Gracias and Freeman, they're kind of leveling off lap time wise. We'll see what happens this lap. But really, Gracias is the 20 of Freeman having a big wiggle coming out of turn number 2, and that's just going to give that spot straight to Jason Gracias. So the Jason and Jason show. Said 3 Jasons there. The Jason and Jason show. There we go. We don't have 3 Jasons just yet. That reminds me of the episode of The Office where it's win, win, win. That's what everyone strives for. But we don't have the Jason show just yet. But Gracias, they're going to get the better of that battle for now and really starting to close in now on the number 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. That Hello Kitty Toyota Supra that's right in front of him, and I'm keeping my eyes on the lap time. Gracias is the 3rd fastest car on the racetrack right now, right behind Izenga and Spencer Tart. Izenga is slowly clawing in on the race lead, just now down to about 3/4 of a second, as Tellier gonna let the one of Gracias there slide on by. So we'll have to wait and see when these cars elect to come down onto pit road here, Bob, because we're now about 40 laps in. By my math, I think they should be able to go about 55, 60, maybe even 70 with the smaller tanks that we run here in Total Nonstop Racing League.
Yeah, that and really there is going to be where, you know, these drivers are going to be make or break for their race, especially if we stay green out there on the racetrack, because, you know, like we had mentioned, the top 4 or so drivers all came down pit road and used 1 set of tires, so they only have 1 more set of tires to go more than half of the race at this point. So it's going to be interesting, the differing strategies, how much fuel some of these guys have, because don't forget, during that first caution, the 97 Mike Floppy Tellier was able to come down pit road and, you know, fill up with gas as well, so he may have just about the same amount of gas as some of these other leaders. So honestly, at this point, who knows what's going to happen, but it's going to be exciting as this race goes on.
Yeah, we'll get another look at, me and Andrew Himmelman there also kissing the wall, but watch the number 97 machine, the bright pink machine with a big slide there coming out of the corner. We'll get one more look at that one, as he was a bit obscured there by one of the other race cars, but pretty big slide there, able to keep that Hello Kitty machine going nice and straight. That's the good news. Meanwhile, we have a battle for the race lead that's starting to heat up just a little bit, because 17 of Izenga is closing in on the 78. We saw Bobby Trapper there just briefly at the bottom of the screen come down pit road. I think we are starting to see some takers onto pit road here, Bob. Just keeping my eyes on things. Looks like Garrett Gleason, he pitted about 10 laps ago in the number 7 machine. Bobby Trapper, in fact, I think this is the first time we've seen Bobby Trapper on pit road all night long. He had a 73 lap stint, folks. So he has definitely gone all the way from the start of the race up till now. So he will get 4 tires on to the number 69 machine. So that's kind of the number. 73 laps. Now, there were a couple of caution flag laps in that. So, Tristan Maher, number 98, is he coming down pit road? Yes, he is. So the number 98 machine coming down. There's Johnny Williams in the 21. He was able to get back out there on the racetrack in the end, one machine. But Maher here coming down at the halfway distance. I'm sure that's in the back of his head, trying to get to that magic halfway mark to come down and get some tires.
Yeah, splitting the race in half, and this might be one of those moves where the 98 could go the rest of the way here. I'm sure he wouldn't want to, but with a couple of cautions falling his way, he could easily go the rest of the way, possibly on this being his last stop, unless there's a caution that comes out towards the end of the race. He'll be able to jump in, get 4 fresh tires, and fill it up with fuel. So it's going to be interesting as this race goes on to see what they can do with this strategy.
Yeah, we just got a quick peek there of the number 10 machine. I believe that was right. Ooh, man, throwing up some sparks. That is Jordan Schepler in that bright white machine. There's Jordan working his way through turn number 2 onto the backstretch now. Currently being scored the first car 1 lap down. Started in 18th, now up to 13th. One of the bigger movers of the race. Only Mike Floppy Tellier and DeMarco Starks at this present moment in time have gained more positions. So good job there to pick up a couple of spots as the night's gone on. There's the number 40 of Jason Shue back behind him. The AC Delco Automotive Parts machine running a little bit high up there on the racetrack, but able to keep it off the wall. Just got passed by Philip Scott, also being scored 1 lap down. Lupe Gonzalez now the number 35, who had such a promising start to the night. Now the last car on the lead lap, believe it or not, in the 12th spot, trying to run down the 55 of Steven Doziak. Bill Edwards, there's Bill in the number 50, got around David Harvey a couple of laps ago. And that number 50 S2R machine trying to close in on Jason Freeman, Mike Floppy Tellier. Jason Gracias continues to close in on Andrew Himmelman, but he's still 5 seconds back behind Himmelman. Philip Scott running in third right now. He's about 5 seconds behind Ben Izenga, whose charge up to the front has slowed down here, Bob. It seems like Spencer Tartt's been able to find a second win, and it's actually stretched that lead out to about 1.3 seconds as it runs.
Yeah, Tartt really has. It's almost like he found a second gear at just out of nowhere, picking up now an extra second on the leader, Ben Izenga. Izenga's tires looks like they're starting to fall off quite a bit. Same with Philip Scott, but Izenga still within striking distance should anything happen to Tartt. But don't forget, these guys still will need to come down pit road within, I'd say, the next 10 to 12, maybe 15 laps. So this is going to be quite the finish as this race moves on.
Yeah, of course, we have 66 laps to go, so the pit window is now open, Bob. We believe all these drivers will be able to make it to the end of the race from here. It might be a little bit close as of right now, but in a lap or two, they should be good to the end, at least without any green-white checkers. I'm just waiting to see other drivers on pit road, and in fact, we do have a taker on pit road. It is the number 77 Hisense Toyota Supra of David Harvey, working his way back out onto the racetrack right now. Hits that blue stripe, can merge back up on the racetrack, so we'll see what the number 77 can do on the fresher tires. Jason Freeman, number 20 machine, coming down pit road as we speak as well in the Mason-Dixon Cornhole race car. Johnny Williams is in his pit box still. So some takers now that we believe the pit window, it might just be on the edge of being open. But we do think that these drivers will be able to make it to the end from here. When will we see the 78 machine of Spencer Tartt, though? Still electing to stay out here, Bob. I think he's probably going to run it dry. There's not much for him to lose. Looks like the number 1 of Jason Gracias also peeling back up onto the racetrack in the SimShots number 1 machine.
Yeah, really, the 78 does not have all that much to lose here. Just kind of letting it go, run out of fuel. You already got a pretty good lead now at just, I believe, over 2 seconds gap between Ben Izenga. So, there's really not a whole lot to worry about. Just kind of run your race. And, oh, trouble as we say that. The one of Jason Gracias gets turned around right in front of the leader. And this will change everything.
Yeah, and that is a tough break there. We'll dial up this one more time, just going off into the corner. Cold tires, back end steps around, and straight up in front of the 22 of Steven Kegman. That is not what Jason Gracias wanted at all in that number one SimShots machine, because he had just come down pit road. Now, he presumably will get a wave around with that caution lap, but he's being scored 2 laps down. And that is pretty much going to seal his race, unless we start to get quite a few cautions. But with the way this race has been, this only being the second real caution flag of the night, with the only other one being the stage break, it just kind of has that green flag feel to it. Just that back end coming around for Gracias. That is not something you typically see out of your reigning Thornton Graphix Grand National Series champion.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, Richmond, with the way the corners are, especially that long arc heading down into turn number 1, it's really just hard to gauge your speed versus you sliding the car in, especially on cold tires like that. It's very easy to lose it coming through turns 1 and 2, and that's, you know, pretty much exactly what we saw there from that number 1 machine. But it looks like the other Jason in the Jason and Jason show, Jason Shu, should be the lucky dog here for this caution.
Yeah, let's see if we can show that number 40 machine. Where is Jason Shu? Just waiting, I think, to pick up that wave around the pace car. So we'll see whether or not iRacing gives it to him right here. He's kind of showing his nose out there. Dana Himmelman in the chat saying that sinks Gracias. Yeah, definitely not. He's definitely not saying Gracias to himself. We'll just put it that way. After that little bit of a spin in turn number 1, and an unfortunate spot there for the 22 as well of Steven Kegman, because Kegman was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time in that car just to get a piece of that number 1 machine. Still trying to figure out what's up with this pace truck, whether it's going to let the 40 around or not, but maybe it isn't. Maybe he picked up a 1X or something, something that is going to prevent him from picking up the Max Graphics Lucky Dog Award here under this caution flag, being scored in the 11th position as of right now. Going to come down pit road in the AC Delco machine. I do believe we see the number 1 of Gracias. There is Gracias going to be taking that wave around. Same thing with the number 7 of Garrett Gleason. In fact, you have to go right behind Gleason to the number 78 of Spencer Tart, who was the first car off pit road in front of Ben Izinga. Philip Scott 3rd, 4th Andrew Himmelman, 5th Mike Floppy Tellier in that number 97 machine. We'll see the positions as they run at the top of the screen up there, but so far been quite a lot of good racing, a lot of clean racing, which is something that I'm sure a lot of these administrators would love to see on these short tracks, as Myrtle Beach didn't quite go to plan earlier in the season, Bob.
Yeah, Myrtle Beach, same with Rockingham. Those two definitely did not go quite according to plan here for the Total Nonstop Racing League. But, you know, just moving on from them, these races have been absolutely phenomenal. Very close racing and tight racing. But the best part is it's clean racing as well. Really not a whole lot of penalties, rough driving, or, you know, angry drivers or anything along those lines. So it's pretty great to see how everyone is able to come together here and race so well in this Total Nonstop Racing League.
Yeah, that is absolutely for sure. But you can see the cars are doubling up here down the back stretch, so we'll see if those pace car lights continue to stay extinguished. Now, here's the one thing I am noticing is the fact that the back half of the field isn't caught up yet, so they might throw an extra yellow lap. Will they? Will they not? Pace truck heads down pit road, so it looks like we're about to go back green, and there is the green flag. We're back racing here at Richmond.
Good start again by the 78 machine of Spencer Tart, able to get a good jump on the 17 of Ben Izinga. Now the rest of this field all has green, has fresh tires, and as we say that, the yellow flag has been thrown again.
Yeah, caution flag is out. Now, is that for an incident, do we think? Do we think there was an incident of some sort here, or do you think we're just kind of there was an incident? There was a single car around. We'll see what happened here. This is Jordan Shepard trying to get caught up to the back of the field and just loops it coming out of turn number 4. Cold tires once again. That's the second time here tonight that we've seen that. Of course, we just saw it with the number 1 machine, and we're back under the yellow flag. We'll see if we can get it on board here with the number 10 machine. Watch those wheels there on the wheel on the left-hand side of your screen. You see the back end stick out, just tries to catch it. Slams on the brakes and grinds to a halt. Good job getting that car stopped and no further damage, but Jordan Shepler will live to fight another day. And the number 10 machine will live to fight another caution here as presumably, surely this time, Jason Shu will be the lucky dog. And sure enough, presented by Max Graphics, the number 40 will get back on the lead lap. We'll have 11 cars when we go back green here around lap number 100, Bob.
Yeah, and this is going to be a great race here to finish things up. 11 cars up on the lead lap. And before we get any further, Peter, I want to mention the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash. We've got 3 drivers here tonight. The number 4 machine of DeMarco Starks, who's currently running in the 7th position. We have the 22 of Stephen Kegman, whose night really hasn't been going all according to plan yet, although he's the first car 1 lap down in 12th. And after him, the 40 of Jason Shu, as we just saw, take the Max Graphics lucky dog. So he's up in 11th right now. So a pretty good battle right now for that Shibby Shack Dash for Cash.
Yeah, with that number 40 getting back on the lead lap, the fight between DeMarco Starks and Jason Shu will definitely be one to keep an eye on here in the final 50 or so laps. We do have James Orello in the chat, not on the racetrack tonight in his S2R machine, waiting on baby Lorello. Hopefully all is well with you and the missus here tonight, James, and I gotta say, that is definitely a very exciting time of your life, and shame you're not out there on the racetrack, but sometimes there are bigger things than sim racing, bigger fish to fry than just getting out there into the sim rig and turning on the computer and turning some laps. So hopefully, take every little bit of that time of your life and savor it. Very, very cool. James Arello saying, almost there, hoping before midnight. Well, I'm just disappointed that I don't get to call the fact that you've had a new baby to everyone in the chat. So hopefully it all goes to plan and you'll have a new one by tomorrow. Up at the front of the field, it is Spencer Tart in the number 78. Ben Izenga second, 99. The number 97. And rounding out your top 5 is Andrew Himmelman. There is your top 5 there. Bill Edwards back there. DeMarco Starks. Lupe Gonzalez able to hold on to the lead lap. Same thing with Steven Dovziak, who has been jumping in the chat. He says, I'd rather be on track, Bob. You can stay in the booth. What's your thoughts on that one, Bob?
You know what? I think I'm okay with that. That was a good time out there super speedway racing, but I definitely have a little bit of practice in me before we head down onto one of these intermediate and short tracks as well. So super speedways, you know what, Doze, I think you can stay up here. But for any other race, I'm more than happy to be up here in this broadcast booth.
And Doziak's holding on to a top 10 right now. So once again, texting while driving. The green flag going to wave once again. In the 78 machine, Spencer Tart, there was a little bit of an accordion effect right up there at the front of the field, but he's able to get out to an early lead. Let's watch those side-by-side battles a little bit further back, because here comes Andrew Himmelman trying to take advantage perhaps of this side-by-side battle right in front of him. Oh, cars around in the back. That's the 69 machine. Heavy contact with the outside wall, and someone else back there. I think the 55 is Steven Doziak. Maybe he... man, now the big question is going to be, does he wishes he's in the booth now? Because, I don't know. We'll see what happened to him. Was there contact? The 69 definitely wasn't contact, and both of those cars just kind of by themselves. Oh, wow, Garrett Gleason there making a little bit of a chicane of the backstretch, but I think both of those cars just broke loose at the same time.
Yeah, just dueling drifts there. Looks like the 55 started to spin, almost entering the turn, able to keep his car off of the 69. And now here we look here, the 69 just kind of gets a little squirrely coming at it too. The 55 gets squirrely down low. And then look at this, the 77 of David Harvey and the 1 of Jason Gracias getting in there and threading the needle, because that was wild.
Yeah. So the good news is, doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot of damage on either of those race cars. But one thing that it will do is it will give another car the lucky dog, and that car under this caution will actually be the number 20. There he is, the number 20 right there. Jason Freeman currently being scored in the 12th position. So we'll get the lucky dog. We're back to 12 cars onto the lead lap. Keeping my eyes on the number of cars we still have running. Tristan Maher in the number 98 machine. Not sure what happened to Tristan here tonight, but the number 98 pulled off the racetrack. Johnny Williams still sitting on pit road, now 37 laps down. Garrett Gleason, the only car 2 laps down here tonight. David Harvey, Bobby Trapper, Jason Gracias, and Steven Kekman all currently trapped 1 lap down. But Jason Freeman, your Max Graphics Lucky Dog Award winner under this caution flag, Bob.
Yeah, I was a little surprised to see the 20 still 1 lap down. I know as the caution came out, a lot of cars were kind of trapped 1 lap down because of various pit strategies and, all that sort of thing. I'm a little surprised to see the 20 be a lap down, but now that he's back up on the lead lap, he's going to be able to slice and dice his way through the field as we get ready to go green in a couple of laps.
Yeah, let's see if we can dial up one of these drivers here. So let's see if we can talk to Bobby Trapper, find out what happened to that number 69 machine on the restart. These things have been looking very, very slippery. Bobby Trapper, Peter Short, 3 wide TV booth. You got a copy? And we'll try that one more time. Bobby Trapper, Peter Short, 3 wide TV booth. Got a copy?
I think so. I don't know if I'm hitting the right button.
You are hitting the right button, Bobby. It seems like these cars have been getting pretty squirrely there on these restarts. Seems like now we've had a couple. What have you been learning? Is it the track possibly cooling off that's made them so slippery?
I have no idea. I haven't ran these cars enough laps to know anything, to be honest.
Well, I'll tell you what, you've been putting together a pretty good run here tonight in the number 69 machine. You are currently trapped 1 lap down, though. With the cautions breeding cautions, what's your strategy here for the final 47 laps to get back onto the lead lap?
Not wreck and hope for the best, I guess.
All right. Well, Bobby, the pace car lights are off. We'll let you get back to it. Best of luck here in the closing stages.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, we'll move him back to his group of people that's all working together, and a little bit of connection issues there. Looks like he's bounced back. But Bob, pace truck lights have turned off. That's the good news. We want to thank each and every one of you joining us here on 3 Wide TV in the chat here tonight. Christopher Darling saying congrats to James Lorello, and of course him possibly getting a new child here tonight. We thank you for stopping by, though, James, since we got 45 laps to go. Green flag back in the air, and Spencer Tart is on the lap.
What a great jump again there by the 78 machine of Spencer Tart, able to get going and get his teammate of Ben Izinga just to jump in and fall in line behind him. But just behind those 2 drivers, look at that 99 machine of Philip Scott. Scott has been in the top 5 pretty much this entire race, and Scott is looking really good as these laps wind down.
Look at that battle back there around DeMarco Starks, the number 4, digging on the inside, trying to pick up P6. He's one of those Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers here tonight, trying to get a top 5 as well in that number 4 machine. Gonna slice his way on past the number 50 Chevrolet Camaro there, Bill Edwards. Now they're side by side back behind him. Jordan Shepler, Lupe Gonzalez. There's David Harvey in the mix. There is the number 69, Bobby Trapper back there on the outside. Oh, that's kissing the wall, though. The Fanatec number 69 machine, bucking Bronco there down the back stretch, able to corral it, though, and keeps it going straight there. A little bit of a wiggle once again. We keep our eyes on the number 69 machine. Definitely has heated up those rear tires. We saw that half spin from him. Good job to save it. Unfortunately, there was some pretty hefty contact with the outside wall there just a while ago, and again, smacking it off the outside wall. There goes Jason Freeman just on the lead lap. Now back inside the top 10 in the Mason-Dixon Cornhole Chevrolet. But up at the front here, Bob, we got side-by-side battle for second.
side by side for second. Philip Scott able to dive bomb into turn number 1, comes out on the back straightaway with that second position. And like I'd mentioned, Philip Scott has had a really strong race so far, so I'm really looking forward to see how he can A, reel in the 78 of Spencer Tart, and B, how he can get around him, if possible, with only about 40 some odd laps to go.
Yeah, but Spencer Tart was able to wiggle his way away from the field. 1.5 seconds now from the 78 back to the number 99 machine. So we'll continue to watch that gap, see if it evaporates or not. Mike Floppy Tellier there in 5th. Remember, he has an extra set of tires sitting on pit road in that number 97 machine. So if a caution flag comes out here in the next 15 to 20 laps, I expect to see Mike Floppy Tellier and a couple of these other drivers who have saved an extra set of tires on pit road to come down and get that fresh rubber. So don't go anywhere, folks, because just one caution flag could turn this entire race on its head. Logie Bear rooting on Philip Scott, saying, come on, Phil. Scott to second. Danny Himmelman also rooting on Andrew Himmelman now in the 4th position. I think Andrew was able to pick up a spot, I think, since the last time we checked on the number 4 Sim Shots Ford Mustang. So back up there towards the front of the field, now closing in on Ben Izenga, the number 17 NOS Energy Drink Toyota Supra. And I'll tell you what, Bob, Izenga might be thinking about saving tires. However, if you start to lose track position, it can be very difficult to gain that track position back up. So if I'm Ben Izenga right now, yeah, I might be thinking of saving tires, but at the same time, I don't want to fall any further back. I don't want to lose any more positions because, catch people's one thing, to pass them is another. It can be very, very difficult and very taxing on your tires if you run side by side with other people. Even if you are saving tires for the first portion of the run, all the gains that you get can disappear in just a few laps.
Definitely, and that's one of those things, like you had said, catching someone is one thing, passing them is another. I'd even add a third thing in there, is just, staying with them because of these old tires. Trying to get around them with the old tires makes it even harder still. So, it's definitely a strategy call there to say, okay, I'm going to save some tires till the end. I'm sure, play the average, if you will, and say, you know what, I'm sure there's going to be at least one more caution here. With about 35 some odd laps to go, now 34 laps to go. So, this could all be a strategy call, but I think the drivers who have that extra set of tires in the pits right now really have an advantage should there be another caution, because they can get some 4 fresh tires and have, 30 or so laps to go on those fresh tires. So that really could make the difference here in this race.
Now we watch this side-by-side battle for the 6th position between DeMarco Starks and Bill Edwards, and just like that, Bill Edwards will take that 6th position. Now here comes Lupe Gonzalez to the back bumper of DeMarco Starks here down the backstretch, and you see that gap back to the next cars behind him. That's a couple of cars one lap down. The number 1, Jason Gracias, and the 77 of David Harvey. Both of those cars, we know they're fast. They're just stuck one lap down because they elected to pit there just before that caution flag came out. And I know Gracias is going to be kicking himself because he's the one who looped it there in turn number 1 and 2. And really, he didn't want to see a caution at all, and then he was the cause of it. So definitely not the night that your reigning Thornton Graphix Grand National Series champion wanted to see. Gonzalez there getting a little bit of a run coming out of turn number 4, just continuing to hound DeMarco Starks. You're not missing anything up towards the front. This is the best battle for position right now between the 50, the 4, and the number 35. Back behind them, it's about a second and a half, 2 seconds back to Jason Freeman, then another second or so back to Jordan Shepler, and another couple seconds back to Steven Doziak, Jason Chu. Here comes Lupe Gonzalez with a pretty big lunge there coming off into turn number 1, able to get it to roll down there on the bottom line. Easier said than done here at Richmond to get that inside groove hooked up, but looks like the number 35 will take that spot and move up now into 7th.
Definitely a gutsy move there by the 35 machine, sticking the nose right there underneath the 4 of DeMarco Starks, and was able to make that move work because, countless times we've seen, even tonight, you get a little slidey, you get the tires just heated up too much, you lose grip, you slide around. The last thing you need is to get slidey into another guy, take both you and him out of contention. So really great move there by that 35 machine to pick up 7th spot.
Yeah, now we're watching the gaps between these different drivers. Philip Scott to Ben Izenga, and then back behind him. That's really where the battle is right now between Ben Izenga and Andrew Himmelman. Himmelman knocking on the door of that number 17 machine here, coming now onto the front stretch. That is probably the tightest battle that we have on the racetrack right now. Just about 0.3 of a second between the 17 and the number 6. How cool would it be for Andrew Himmelman to walk away 2 consecutive weeks with a podium finish here on 3YTV? Maybe he's been practicing those post-race interviews all week long after winning last week and picking up the big cash payout that Garrett Gleason was able to put together for Andrew. So pretty cool there. But last time by, Izenga was about a 10th faster in the number 17 NOS Energy Drink Toyota Supra. So we'll see what's going on there. Meanwhile, back behind them, got a battle brewing for 5th right now. Bill Edwards to the inside of the number 97 of Tellier. Now, this could be an important battle, Bob, because these 2 drivers are the 2 drivers left on the racetrack that still have, or not the only 2, but these are the first 2 drivers on the racetrack who have a fresh set of tires on pit road, I believe, the 50 and the 97. So if a caution flag was to wave, this could be an important battle because they would be the first cars on fresh rubber and would be able, presumably, to really take the fight to the front 4 right now of Tart, Scott, Izenga, and Himmelman, but we continue to stay under the green flag. Looking a little bit further back, it seems like things have stabilized back behind them. Now Lupe Gonzalez starting to close in, however, on Mike Floppy Tellier. As I was just kind of looking at the times and the deltas between these different drivers, and I just overlooked the fact that Lupe Gonzalez is literally all over the back bumper of the number 97. Tellier here looking to struggle a little bit through the mid-portion of this run, Bob.
Yeah, I mean, we know that the 97 and 50 have an extra set of tires in the pits, but because they have an extra set of tires in the pits, they more likely than not have some of the older tires out there on the racetrack. So you would almost expect the 97 and the 50 to fall back just a little bit. But man, that 35 of Lupe Gonzalez is on a rail, able to cut their way up through the field. Now Gonzalez is up to 6th place right now and setting his sights now for the 50 of Bill Edwards.
Yeah, so we'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Ben Izenga has been clawing in Philip Scott in the number 99 machine just a little bit lap after lap. This could be a side-by-side battle for second here brewing. With Spencer Tart, 2.5 second race lead right now. It's all looking good for your pole sitter. And then number 78, remember, he had to do a drive-through penalty at the start of the race. And somehow Spencer Tart has been able to get himself back up to the front. Very impressive drive for the number 78 machine. In fact, he's locked up the most laps led, which is extremely surprising, Bob. With that drive-through penalty, he has only not led by my math 41 laps here tonight. He's led 90 laps here tonight. I mean, that is extremely impressive considering, big slide there by the number 99 machine going off into the corner. Opens up the door for the 17 of Izenga. The 99 maybe just using a little bit too much rear brake bias with a bit of a slide, but able to hold on to that second spot for now.
Wow, yeah, what a big slide there by the 99. Here comes the 17 of Ben Izenga door to door as they come to the line. Looks like Izenga had the spot as they cross the line. And now Izenga is going to get the position diving down into turn number 1. So, just a good battle. And we'll see if the 17 now is going to be able to pull away from the 99, or can the 99 stay right there and try to reel him back in?
Yep, so just like that, the number 17 of Izenga with a slide, the 99 with a slide. These tires are saying, you know what, I've had enough of this slidiness, and they're pretty toasty at the rear end of these cars. And that's another thing that we talk about here on 3YTV sometimes, the fact that if you overheat your tires, let's say if you overheat your rear tires, well, guess what? You're going to lose tire grip in the rear tires, which is going to cause those tires to slide. If they slide, that's more friction, which makes them hotter, which means you lose more grip, which means they slide more, which makes them hotter, which means you slide more, which makes them hotter, and it just leads to a snowballing effect. So the 17 of Izenga here has to chill out just a little bit, try and get those tires back underneath him. He's past the number 99 of Philip Scott. He is almost 4 seconds, folks. The race lead is now at 4 seconds. Spencer Tart over the field. Super, super impressive, but Andrew Himmelman now starting to knock on the door. Remember, he was closing in on Ben Izenga a little while ago. Now he's all over the back bumper of the number 99 of Philip Scott, trying to take a podium spot with a little bit of a look to the inside. Philip Scott covers him as they dive off into turn number 3.
Yeah, Scott covers the position there. Now here comes the 6 of Andrew Himmelman, able to take a look to the inside. He's going to peek in, but the 99 shuts the door yet again, and two very strong racers now going at it here as the 6 takes a look on the inside coming out of turn number 2 and down the back straightaway.
Yeah, Himmelman got a great launch coming out of turn number 2, and he's just going to slide into that 3rd position. Don't look now, because it looks like Bill Edwards is starting to close in on Philip Scott. Scott's tires must be completely toast. 13 laps to go here. That is just under 10 miles around the 3/4 mile racetrack here. Going to be an exciting run to the finish, at least for this battle for the last podium spot, because Edwards is absolutely on a tear in the S2R number 70 machine, trying to do an over-under on the 99 of Philip Scott. Great job there by Edwards to try and back up that corner, run a different line, try and do something that the cars in front of him are doing. Now, there's not a lot of grip in that groove he was running right there. That's a little bit too high up the racetrack. Let's go on board here with the number 50 of Edwards. You see that camo suit that he wears is the driving suit. Man, once again, great run coming out of turn number 4. Had to get way out of the gas to not run over the back of the number 99 machine. You can see Edwards really modulating that throttle. Does not want to wreck the NationalNinjaLeague.com number 99 machine. Coming out of turn number 2, we're going to be having 10 laps to go. 7.5 miles here this time by.
And it's just wild watching. Oh, as we say that now, the caution comes out on the speedway. So this will certainly change everything.
Yeah, getting word that it's the number 20 machine right here. Jason Freeman gets way loose coming out of the corner. Oh, man, that's DeMarco Starks. Heavy contact between those two. Starks able to continue on, but for Freeman, that's let's count the number of spins here, folks. Let's see if he was able to equal Tony Hawk's 900 or not. Coming out of the corner, there's wiggle number 1. Okay, that's 1. Oh, he wasn't even close. Like, maybe somewhere between a 540 and a 720, something like that. But able to get back rolling in the Mason-Dixon Cornhole Chevrolet. And just like that, we're under caution. Now, the big question is going to be, takers on pit road or not? Well, we see these cars come down pit road, Bob. The pit road is open. We are going to see some takers back there. Lupe Gonzalez, Bill Edwards, Mike Floppy Tellier coming down. This is going to be interesting. Remember, the front cars, they're out of tires. They're on 40-lap-old tires. Folks, get out of your seat, because this is going to be one wild finish. Bill Edwards, Lupe Gonzalez, Mike Floppy Tellier all coming down to get fresh Goodyear rubber.
Yeah, who knows? This could very well be the podium here, but I mean, what a great strategy for these guys out there on the pit road, the 35, the 50, and the 97. Just a fantastic strategy there for these guys, saving an extra set of tires in the pits just in case. Well, that just in case happens here, and now the 50 is going to lead this group of cars off of pit road. And man, this is going to be an exciting finish. Will these guys have enough time to cut their way through the field? Bill Edwards, is going to be rejoining this field probably in, 7th or so, give or take. So he's got 6 cars to pass in probably about 5 or 6 laps once we go back green. Fresh tires, going to be a little faster. So honestly, at this point, it's anyone's race.
And of course, cautions breed cautions. Will we see another one? I think if I was a betting man, I think the odds are that we will see another caution. We'll ask Eric Gleason. He's our resident betting expert in the chat. In fact, speaking of the number 7 machine, the Dunn Raceway Park sponsored Racecar also got Thornton Graphix on the number 7 machine. Garrett said that his wheel has been having issues tonight. All of a sudden lost all force feedback on the number 7 machine. And I'll tell you what, Bob, whenever you get used to using force feedback and all of a sudden it goes away, it's like driving a car on ice. There's absolutely no way to get around it. You are literally just holding on to that wheel and hoping and praying when you get into the corners that it does what you're expecting it to do. And Garrett, that is a tough break. Hopefully you will be back next week here on 3 Wide TV for round number 9. Should be a great race that we have lined up for you next week. In fact, speaking of next week, we go to Kansas. Same time, same place here on 3 Wide TV. But up at the front of the field, pace truck lights continue to stay on here, Bob. So it'll be about 4 laps to go, I would think, when we finally get that green flag. So a lot of cars to pass for Bill Edwards, and same thing with the number 10. Jordan Scheffler coming down pit road. In fact, Scheffler, I'm not sure if he took 4 tires or 2 tires on that race car, but did come down with a 9-second pit stop. Lupe Gonzalez back there. David Harvey in the number 77. Did he get back on the lead lap? No, he did not. Harvey still stuck a lap down. So I don't know. Take off the gloves, because this is going to be a boxing match for the final 4 laps.
Yeah, definitely going to be quite the battle. I'm really interested to see how these drivers who had gotten fresh tires, see how they can slice and dice their way through the field. But also the guys out front. Spencer Tart has been just phenomenal all race long. Let's see if he can hold them off as the green flag is out. Now Spencer Tart gets on the loud pedal, and we're back racing here at Richmond.
And Steven Doziak at the number 55 machine might have spun his tires back there, so that's going to allow some of these cars with the fresher tires to already start a hard charge up to the front. Here comes Mike Floppy Tellier. He got around the number 50 of Bill Edwards, so he's now the highest placed driver, and caution flag waves. I was about to say he's the highest placed driver on those fresher tires, but I saw a car back around in turn number 2, and it was the Mason-Dixon cornhole machine of Jason Freeman just getting on the brakes a little bit hard. Back end coming around up the racetrack. There's Kegman. Kegman not making any further contact, so that's good news. David Harvey should be your lucky dog under this caution flag, but we're going to have a green-white checker here at Richmond.
Yeah, and just right now it looks like the 20 might have gotten on the binders just a little bit too hard and wound up spinning around. Had a good save going, but wound up overcorrecting just a little bit. And gosh, the 22 has just been a magnet for accidents. I feel like this is the 3rd or 4th caution alone that he's been just around, with cars spinning around near him, into him, with him, etc. So yeah, I'm sure if I'm the 22, I'm sitting there saying, man, green-white checkered here. Hopefully this is the only one, and let's just get this race over with.
Okie dokie. Well, this is going to be an interesting restart. Now, we had 4 laps to go. Tellier and Edwards were able to pick a couple spots. As you see, David Harvey there in the high sense number 77 machine, picking up that Max Graphics Lucky Dog Award. 2 laps is not a lot of time, especially with the jump that Spencer Tart's been getting in the number 78 machine. I like the chances of the car on the high line. Going to be restarting there in the 6th position, Bill Edwards, because if it was me, man, I'd just sail it around that high line. Just get out there, try and use that high line. I know there's not a lot of grip out there, but there's clean track out there. If you can get to the outside of the number 99 machine of Philip Scott, then you won't be boxed in on the inside line. You might be boxed in, Bob. If you're Mike Tellier, you might be stuck behind the 6th machine of Andrew Himmelman, or even the 17 or your race leader, the 78. That high line, though, you might not be as boxed in. Just kind of slam the throttle and hope it sticks.
For sure. I mean, I got a win doing C-Fix trucks last week, where I restarted in 6th with, during green-white checkered, I had fresh tires, was able to jump out and kind of hug the wall coming to green, because with iRacing, you're allowed to pass to the right before we get to the green flag. You cannot pass someone to the left. So if you're on the outside line, you get there between the wall and the car in front of you, you'll have plenty of time to get around the car in front of you if you're faster. But, you know, at this point, it's pretty much anyone's race. But you're right, Peter, that 50 machine of Bill Edwards really is in a fantastic spot if you're not Spencer Tart right now.
Yeah, so we'll just have to wait and see how it all is going to pan out here tonight. Tanda Himmelman saying nervous. Logie Bear saying pit now, Phil. I don't know. I don't think he's got any tires left in that number 99 pit stall. Ben Adams saying, wow, what a lucky break. Garrett Gleason saying, thanks for the kindness, Peter. Been a rough day. Yeah, gee, I'll tell you what. I've had force feedback fail me a couple times in my life in sim racing. Never a fun thing, especially on road courses. Road courses, it's even worse. But anyway, we'll have to see how it all shakes out for these drivers because pace truck lights are off. I don't know. Garrett, who's the odds-on favorite for this restart? I want to know. I want to know who you'd pick up with the odds on this restart because it's going to be a fun one here. Fresh tires, old tires. Old tires lead the fresh tires, but 2 laps for the fresh tires to get to the front. Pace truck going to head down pit road. Spencer Tart once again going to lead us back to the green flag and already on the loud pedal in that 78 machine out to a huge jump. Here comes the 97 machine of Tellier going to take it 3 wide off into turn number 1. Himmelman's going to run the number 17 of the racetrack. They're spinning back behind. Caution flag waves once again. And the 97 of Tellier are going to get up into second before the caution flag waved. I think that was the 35 of Lupe Gonzalez going around, Bob.
Wow. Oh, wow. The 97 had just a picture-perfect restart. But here, looking at the replay, it was just kind of a mess of cars. You cannot go 4 or 5 wide here at Richmond. And, that's exactly what happened there. Just guys getting aggressive during the overtime green-white checkered finish here. So let's take a look here in super slow-mo. Take a look what happens here. 3 wide there, and then in the back, just sideways, and 3-4 wide there. 35 gets involved. The 40's in there. Oh, the 10 of Jordan Schepler gets into it, as well as the 20 of Jason Freeman. Bobby Trapper there missing the front nose of his car. So, man, just a tough break for all of those involved.
Yeah, that is for sure. We'll get another look at this 4 wide. How about that? You don't see that very often here at Richmond. Of course, the thumbnail from last season here on 3 Wide TV, I think it was 4 wide here at Richmond. Well, we're going to go 4 wide again, but this time, unfortunately, a little bit of RG Barch. That might have been 6 wide if you counted all the cars kind of scattering on the racing surfaces. Not, but oh man, Jordan Schepler, there was that hard lick. Once again, coming right at our 3 wide TV camera there in slow motion. We'll see if we can play that back one more time here. Let's jump up to the blimp cam. How about that? We'll count this on 3 wide TV. So that's kind of 4 wide. Then we're back to 3 wide. Oh, there's a nudge. DeMarco Starks in the 4 machine also got a nudge. Okay, let's count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kind of 6 wide, and one car is taking up a whole groove. So that's an interesting way to do things. Of course, unfortunately, whenever you go 6 wide, that's usually how things end up with the number 10 of Schepler there. Heavy contact with the outside wall.
Yeah, let's call that 5.5 wide, and definitely something that clearly doesn't work here at Richmond. And that's really going to change the complexion of this race yet again. Now, fresh tires up front with the 97 of Mike Floppy Tellier. Old tires down low, and in the lead with the 78 of Spencer Tart. So let's see here what happens as we take another look here at the replay. Look at the 97. What a great job timing the move. Gets down below the 6 of Himmelman and able to get his nose out front. And man, it looked like the 97 was just shot out of a cannon here. And this caution is a big break for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if we can go on board here with the number 97 machine for the restart. Just times it right, gets to the inside of the number 6 machine, and man, for the number 6 machine of Himmelman, just absolutely pushed up the racetrack into the door of Izenga there, but great job there by both of those cars to stay off of one another. Izenga now going to slide back to the 4th position, and we have another restart upcoming for you guys here on 3 Wide TV. And of course, the good news is all of those replays that we just watched, well, got rid of the entire caution flag because the pace truck lights are going to go off, and we're going to have another attempt at a green-white checker here. Ben Izenga now going to be the second car on the outside line at the number 17, but I think all eyes are on the number 97, Mike Floppy Tellier. He's been the one able to slice and dice his way through the traffic on the fresh tires, and I think my money's on the number 97 machine right now because on those fresh tires, I think Tellier I think he would just draw a level with Spencer Tart and pass him there going off into turn number 1. That's my prediction. Turn number 1 on the white flag lap. What about you, Bob?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well, but it all depends on the restart here. The 78 jumps early, and now Spencer Tart able to get in there, and now Mike Floppy Tellier is going to have to go into an extra gear to try to hunt down this leader. Here they are as they head off into turn number 1.
Tellier goes on the high side. We saw a car in the back of the field go spinning. His caution flag out. Not seeing any caution flag just yet. Looks like they sort things out. Going off into turn number 3 and 4, though. The 97 of Tellier opens up the door for Himmelman. Himmelman now looking for second. Tart's got a huge lead. Going off into turn number 1, there goes Izenga. Izenga, argy-bargy, up the racetrack goes the number 6 of Himmelman, and they're still making contact. Oh, there we go, big wreck on the backstretch. We stay green flag. Spencer Tart, the number 78, the 97, Tellier sent it off into turn number 3, trying to get to the back bumper of Spencer Tart, but Tart wins, and coming home in second, Tellier, and coming home third. Look at this, Lupe Gonzalez, where did he come from to come home with a podium finish here tonight? Wow, what a wild ending here at Richmond.
Green, white, checkers, and just insanity here at Richmond. And this whole finish all started because of a few guys coming together, coming through turn number 2. Dosiak up in the wall. The 17 gets in the wall. 99 looks like he either got tagged from behind or tried to clear himself. Couldn't, spending a whole bunch of cars careening across the racetrack. And this right here, the move for third, Lupe Gonzalez has it over Bill Edwards. And then just the mad dash to just try to finish as everyone just smoking and car parts all over the place. Man, what a finish here.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be one of those that we're going to look back over some time here and really be impressed with as we roll the tape here. The 7. Look at all the carnage out there on the racetrack. Spencer Tart's already gone around the racetrack for his cool down lap, and there's cars still finishing. Can you believe that? But Spencer Tart here gonna burn it down on the front stretch, right in front of Bill Edwards. Edwards coming home with 4th here tonight. What a wild final lap. Izenga sailing it off into turn number 1. They're pushing the 6 of Himmelman up the racetrack. Himmelman able to limp home to pick up a top 5, but what was almost a podium for the number 6 Simshots Ford here tonight. He's going to have plenty of opportunity, though, to pick up a lot of pictures after this race. That is for sure, but I know there will be some questions asked of that finish and just how it all went down, but no questions asked here tonight. Spencer Tart, 119 laps led tonight, Bob. Definitely the class of the field.
Yeah, for sure. And the fact that it only took Spencer 40 some odd laps to go from a penalty to start the race, had to take a green flag drive down pit road, took him about 40 laps to get back up to the front of the field, and pretty much led from there. And Spencer Tart, a dominant performance here tonight at Richmond.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get some of these post-race interviews lined up for you folks. Trying to see if we can get the second place driver, but I'm not seeing the second place driver, Lupe Gonzalez, in the chat here tonight. So maybe try and pick up the 4th place, number 50 of Bill Edwards. In fact, Bob, why don't you take it away with tonight's 4th place finisher, Bill Edwards, in the number 50.
Can do. Bill Edwards, Bob Giaquinto here in the 3Wide TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Bill, a fantastic race and a great strategy. Really kind of played your way, saving an extra set of tires in the pits. Tell me a little bit about that decision to try to save tires as long as you can, save that extra set, and really that wound up helping you out here, getting you that 4th place finish.
Yeah, well, I mean, we had a yellow before the stage break, so really there's only like 20 laps on those tires. I was just hoping, you never know. It's all kind of a gamble. So we got 2 sets of tires, and I figured, if there is a late yellow, that maybe I'd have a shot at the win with them. But I got close.
Yeah, just for sure.
close.
And I'm sorry, go right ahead.
Yeah, I got close. It just wasn't quite enough. So I kind of missed the turn a little bit. Ben kind of missed the what is this turn? I think it was turn 2 there. You missed the turn a little bit. Everybody was just up there on really old tires, pushing as hard as they could. And I was following those 2 around the corner there, so I checked up a little bit. Then I got gas on the gas too quick, and I was sideways. I almost wrecked it myself, but I pulled out. It's a decent points day, at least.
That's for sure, and a good looking finish for you out there, kind of all throughout the field and whatnot. Taking a look now next week, going off to Kansas. What are your thoughts heading off there to Kansas? Looking for another S2R win, or what are you thinking?
Always looking for the win. Got to get those W's. I'm hoping. I mean, Kansas, it's not my favorite track, but neither is this place. So just do the best you can, even at tracks that aren't your favorite, and that's what we'll come out and do, hopefully.
Fair enough. Well, Bill, before we let you go, do you have any shout outs there for us?
I've got to say hi to my mom, hi to my girlfriend. I got to say hi to James Lorello, who is not here tonight because I think they're off having a baby if they haven't already had it. So got to say good luck to him and hope everything goes well for that. You guys up in the booth, TNR, all these guys, it's a good league. So, yep, that should do it.
Awesome. Well, Bill, congrats on the 4th place finish, and we're looking forward to seeing you out there next week at Kansas.
Sounds good. I'll be there.
All right, well, folks, that will do it with tonight's 4th place finisher, Bill Edwards. We'll see if just do a quick scan up and down through here. Nope, not seeing tonight's 3rd place finisher. Unfortunately, Lupe Gonzalez. A great run for Lupe. Started in 8th, finishing in 3rd here tonight. But we'll see if we can dial up tonight's 2nd place finisher, Mike Floppy Tellier. Mike, coming up a little bit short right there in the end. Started all the way back in 16th here tonight. By far the biggest mover, 14 positions gained. All things considered, looked a little bit rough there in the middle portion of the race, but things turned out your way right there. Able to get that late race caution. Do you think maybe just a little bit too late?
Oh, that was my thoughts exactly, Peter. I was hoping that came out 5 laps sooner, even with the green-white checkers at the end. I'm like, hopefully there's a caution at lap 130 or so, and I can get my fresh tires because I know everyone's used them up, and it was just like 5-10 laps too short.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, great run nonetheless for that number 97 machine, Hello Kitty, on that Toyota Supra this week. What's behind the Hello Kitty?
The live action movie, actually, that was announced. They got their new director figured out, so there's going to be a live action Hello Kitty coming out soon.
Well, that's pretty cool. Definitely one that I'm sure a decent number of people will be looking forward to. But speaking of looking forward to, next week we go back to the 1.5-mile racetrack. So putting some short tracks kind of in the rear here. We go to Kansas before going to the Tricky Triangle, a.k.a. Pocono Raceway, in 2 weeks from tonight. What are your thoughts about Kansas and Pocono?
I'm glad we're going to bigger tracks. I'm not a fan of these little short things. I'm excited for Kansas. I enjoy Pocono, so I'm glad that's the next 2 races we're going at.
Yeah, definitely going to be a fun one. And folks, you don't want to miss it here on 3 Wide TV. But Mike, I know tonight might not have gone exactly the way you wanted it to go by getting the checkered flag, but 2nd place is definitely nothing to be too upset about. And I know you got some shout outs, so let's hear them.
Yeah, I actually think this is my first top 5 of the season, surprisingly, and I'm pretty sure it's the first time I've got to talk to you guys. As for shoutouts, Luminary Racing, the boys here at Waffle Motorsports at TNR, Spencer, Ben, and all them for pushing me to try and go faster and faster every week because they have been stomping our butts. My kids who are upstairs sleeping, and Garrett for putting on a show here, you guys for broadcasting. I think that's about it.
All right. Well, Mike, thanks for stopping by up here in the booth. Best of luck on the big tracks next week at Kansas and 2 weeks from now, Pocono. Good luck there, bud.
Hey, thanks for having me up here, guys.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for our second place finisher, but I do believe that it is time to drag in tonight's race winner, none other than the number 78 machine, Bob. He started the race pretty much on pit road, but Spencer Tart comes home with the win. You got him there, Bob?
I do. Spencer Tart, Bob Giaquinto up here in the 3-wide TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
Well, Spencer, just pure dominance, really. There's not a whole lot that we can say about tonight's race. You got the pole, had to start the race with the drive-through penalty. It took you about 40 laps to get back up to the front, but once you were up front there, man, it just a fantastic run there by you. Pure and total domination, leading more than 110 laps, and really just kind of took care of the field out there tonight.
Yeah, man, it definitely wasn't easy, especially starting there in the back. I was a little worried. I figured I was going to start a lap down from that. I think the only thing that saved me was getting the pole and having a little bit of extra room. Able to drive back up through the field with not too much, but I was scared there at the end. I had 40 or 50 lap old tires, and they all had new tires, and I thought Floppy was going to get me there at the end, but he might have cut me a break. He definitely could have moved me there at the end, and I appreciate it. But man, it feels good finally win this damn thing. Thank you to all the sponsors, Palmetto. Thank you to Anthony's Lock Service, Callaway's Bar and Grill, all those guys. Thank you, Tony Gator Hater, for all these guys for sponsoring the car. Man, it feels good to get you guys in victory lane finally.
And, just kind of take me through what was going on in your mind there with the last few laps, especially with all the green-white checkered finishes, the caution coming out. I know you'd kind of touched on it with the 97 having some fresh tires, you having some old tires. What was kind of the thought process there as you say, okay, it's coming down to crunch time. I have older tires, got some guys charging here through the field with fresher tires. What was kind of going on there?
Honestly, I thought I had no chance. I thought with the 5 to go, I thought that was long enough for him to catch me. I think it might have helped me to get that next caution, but every caution after that I felt like was a prison sentence, and it was terrifying. And I didn't think I was going to win the race. I thought I was going to lose there at the end. I just didn't think that I could put a couple of decent laps together with those old of tires and even do anything competitive.
Well, wound up coming out on top, and next week we're heading off to Kansas. What are your thoughts heading out there?
I like Kansas. I haven't been to a mile and a half in a while in the Xfinity car, but if I can remember right, Kansas, you run around the top, and I like riding up there. So it should be a good race. Pretty excited. S2R should do well again.
Fair enough. And before we let you go, do you have any shout outs for us?
Yeah, man. Thank you to all the sponsors, all you guys, everybody I mentioned earlier. Thank you to Bill Edwards for painting all the cars. Fatal Concepts Design, man, go check him out. He does great work. And everybody I mentioned earlier, just thank you for coming out and sponsoring the car. It means a lot to me. And it feels good to get you guys in victory lane.
Awesome. Well, Spencer, congratulations again. And we're looking forward to having you out there at Kansas next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, well, definitely a dominating performance here tonight by Spencer Tart. Started on the pole, led 119 laps here tonight with all the extra overtime that we had. But it's time to go through tonight's, man, I'm just combining words. Tonight's final race results, and Spencer Tart picking up the win with all those laps led, like I just mentioned. Mike Floppy Tellier, what could have been if he just got a caution flag just a few laps sooner. Lupe Gonzalez coming home in third with a really slicing and dicing their way to pick up another podium finish here tonight. Congratulations with that. Bill Edwards finishing in fourth. Andrew Himmelman rounding out the top five, almost picking up back-to-back podiums here on 3-Wide TV. You'll just have to practice those post-race interviews for another week. Ben Izenga, late slide back to the sixth spot, but look at that. 5 seconds between Himmelman and Izenga. That last lap brawl ensued. Phillips got the number 99 machine was involved. Jason Gracias in the one was able to get up to 8th position after all that. Jason Shue, he was one of the Shibby Shack Dash for Cash drivers, wasn't he, tonight there, Bob?
Yeah, he was. He wound up winning our Shibby Shack Dash for Cash tonight.
And you know what? You can't make this up. We were talking about the Jason, and Jason show. Look who finishes 8th, 9th, and 10th. Jason Graphix, Jason Shu, Jason Freeman. So we'll just say, after all that, it was the Jason, and Jason show with Jason Freeman. They're running out the top 10 there, Bob.
And finishing off in 11th, the 4 machine of DeMarco Starks. Great run out there for him. In 12th, Jordan Shepler, Stephen Dosiak Jr. coming home in 13th. David Harvey, the last car on the lead lap, finishing in 14th. Bobby Trapper, 1 lap down, finishing in 15th. 16th, the 22 of Stephen Kegman. Garrett Gleason, Tristan Maher, and Johnny Williams rounding out our finishers, all of which had disconnected due to various reasons out there. And, well, Peter, overall, a pretty exciting race out there at Richmond tonight.
Yeah, definitely was a fantastic race all the way up to the end, and I expect much of the same next week when we go to Kansas. Same time, same place here on 3Y TV. Want to give a huge shout out to the sponsors here of the Total Nonstop Racing League, Thornton Graphix. Make sure you check out the link in the description, as well as Dunn Raceway Park, indoor off-road RC racing. Yes, that's indoor off-road RC racing. They have an indoor racetrack where you can race all your RC cars in Old Forge, Pennsylvania. Make sure you check out that link as well if you're up in the northeast portion of the United States, as well as a Master Millwright, one of the metal shops up there in the northeast. Great to have them on board. Andrew Himmelman in the chat saying, "You don't have to roast me like that, Peter." Yeah, sorry, Andrew. Already in the chat. As well as, of course, Max Graphics for sponsoring the Lucky Dog Award here in the Total Nonstop Racing Thornton Graphix Grand National Series. But like I said, we'll be back in action same time, same place, right here at Kansas Speedway next week. 1.5 miles, going to be a fun one. There, Bob.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really looking forward to that race. Kansas is always a fun track to race at, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing some of these bigger tracks, the 1.5 mile tracks here. If I'm not mistaken, aside from Homestead, that might be only the 2nd 1.5 mile track we've gone to so far this season. So it's going to be interesting to see the comers and goers going on there.
Yeah, always a fun racetrack, and also going to be really interesting to see some of the new additions iRacing has this week, of course, coming out with a new build for these cars. So that could completely change the aerodynamics model. There's a lot of things, a lot of things have been said about this build that's coming out this week. So should be a lot of fun to see that here on 3Y TV in action on the channel next week. But big shout out to our friends over at SimTV for the camera angles that we bring you each and every week. Make sure you go check out their YouTube channel as well as their broadcast, because they do a stellar job of all of the leagues that they broadcast, and definitely one of the biggest fans of our own channel. Make sure to hit a like button on your way out here as well for the Thornton Graphix Cup Series. We really do appreciate it. But from all of us here on the channel, have a good night, and we shall see ya!